Take number 43. Hi, my name is Nicholas Peterson. I am demoing the Phase 1 part of my ADO project. Here we have my login, which takes a username and a password and sends them with a stored procedure to check to see if they exist in my database. Here we have my main form, which is inherited from a base form, and then I have these five buttons lead to 5 other forms that I've inherited from a second base form. As you can see, they all look the same. And then each of these forms has 3 forms inside it that have inherited from a third base form. So here I have my open query, which I made so people who maybe are a little bit more advanced with SQL or know what they want can just type it in and execute the query and get the results here in a list box. And for those who maybe not so experienced or good at it, they can make a variety of selections that I've put in these list boxes here, and also get the results in a list view. So, as an example, I want the customer ID, customer name, and birth date. You can hit the result, and as you can see, I have these and something I've added from my previous attempts. And say you don't want those, you just want customer ID, username, and account balance. As you can see, those are, you can choose what you want as long as it doesn't have a where clause or something that would use a where clause or narrow down the results. I have those going to a simple query method that sends the inputs into a stored procedure and returns the reader to this list view. And then I have over here in aggregates, you can choose something like, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. You can, return all or count how many rows you have from customers. As you can see, 5. I've only done 4 so far, just as part of the example, but I'm sure I could get a variety of them to work. Then I have, for something a little bit more, I guess, to narrow down results, you can be like, I want the customer ID, customer name, and birth date, and I want to, it's kind of like a select customer ID, customer name, birth date from customers where customer ID is greater than or equal to 4. As you can see, customer ID 4, 5, 6. I have the customer name, customer ID, and birth date. And I send that to also to as a text to the database and have it return as a data reader and return and see as you can see the results in my list view. Finally, we have inserts. As you can see, I have both required and optional fields. And if you don't put in one of the fields, you'll get a message box. But if you put them all in, it'll tell you that that your new customer has been added. Exit the application so you can see some of the code. For my login, as you can see, I've Once you click the button, it takes the 2 words and it passes them into my login procedure. And here in my middle tier, I have my login procedure, and it has both 2 inputs and 1 output. And the output's a 1 or 0 for a pass-fail, and that's how I know if the login is good or not. Then for my subquery, or my common queries, I have kind of a dizzying array of stuff needed to get everything to work, but it all filters down to right here at the button click, where I get the selected table, or I get the table it's selected from, or what fields you selected, and then if you haven't selected any narrowing fields, it goes to simple query, but if you've actually selected some of the filters, it goes to a filtered query. Both of those are also in my middle tier. As you can see, here's my filtered query. I haven't figured out quite how to put it into a stored procedure yet, but it sends it to my database and returns it as a data reader. And for my simple query, I have it in a stored procedure named simple query with the 2 inputs, and it returns it as a data reader. Then for my new customer, I have all the inputs going in. If you haven't filled out the right ones, it sends you a message box, but it goes to my method new customer, or my customer middle tier new customer, because I wanted to try out having multiple, I guess, middle tiers. As you can see, I pass in all the required fields, and then I have it narrowing all the parameters for all the fields, so hopefully they can't pass anything to something that's not supposed to be passed in. And it executes as a non-query. I don't have it returning anything. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for your time and attention. Have a good day.